as This is BBC World News. I'm Krupa Bhatia. Our top stories. An Afghan city is reported to have fallen to the Taliban as a close associate of the president is assassinated in Kabul. The UN envoy says attacks on cities must stop now as the Security Council ends emergency talks on the situation. Greece issues a nationwide extreme fire warning as it faces its worst wildfires in decades. Protests across Italy as COVID vaccine passes become mandatory for restaurants, sporting events and live performances. And American athlete Allyson Felix has become the most decorated woman in Olympic track and field history, winning a record 10th medal. Hello and welcome to BBC World News. The Taliban have captured the capital of Nimruz province, making it the first provincial capital to fall into the hands of insurgents as they step up their offensive across the country. Nimruz province in southwestern Afghanistan is a major trading hub near the border with Iran. A local official in Zaran said the city fell because of a lack of reinforcements. The insurgents have taken dozens of districts in recent months as foreign forces leave the country. The Taliban are already putting pressure on several other cities, including Herat in the west and Lashkar in the south. The UN Security Council has gathered for a special session to discuss that worsening situation in the country. The United Nations envoy to Afghanistan called on the Taliban to cease its attacks on major cities immediately, saying the war-torn country was heading for catastrophe. Here is some of Deborah Lyons speaking a short while ago at those emergency talks, which have just ended.
There had been an expectation when the US Taliban deal was signed in February of 2020. You will remember that we would see a reduction of violence. We did not. There had been an expectation when the talks between the Afghan Republic and the Taliban began in September of last year that we would see a reduction of violence. We have not. There had been an expectation that when international troops left, we would see a reduction of violence. We did not. Instead, despite significant concessions for peace, we have seen a 50% increase in civilian casualties, with the certainty of many more as the cities are attacked.
So that's Deborah Lyons there, but let's continue with this because for the very latest from Washington, I spoke with our correspondent, Gary O'Donoghue, and I asked him what the UN Security Council could realistically do to deal with that worsening situation inside Afghanistan.
I think it's a difficult question for the Security Council to answer at this stage. There are lots of expressions of horror and lots of expressions of empathy and sympathy for the Afghan people and lots of urgings towards the Taliban to return to the negotiating table and to bring in a ceasefire. But as things stand, there's very little the UN Security Council can do. What there is some pressure on them to do is things like perhaps reinstate some of the travel sanctions that the Taliban leadership have had suspended in order to take part in those Doha talks. There are other kinds of pressure they believe regional powers could bring to bear. And of course, the longer term issue is the recognition in the international community. If the Taliban was to take over in Afghanistan entirely, they wouldn't get any international recognition. Not that that would probably bother a Taliban regime, but there's a lot of, I think, wringing of hands in terms of what can be done. The problem is that quite often in these situations, you know, military realities on the ground dictate the strength of your hand at the negotiating table. And the Taliban know that as well as anyone else. And with these onslaughts on these, particularly on these 6 urban centers that are taking place now, which really threaten the stability of the state in Afghanistan, that puts the Afghan government very much on the back foot. There are some disturbing reports in these contributions this morning, particularly from Ambassador Isaac Saib from Afghanistan himself, talking about some of the alleged atrocities really that are being conducted by the Taliban. He says things like the flogging of children, the stoning of people, the kind of things we thought we'd seen the back of in Afghanistan 20 years ago. But there's a risk, I think, from a number of people's point of view in this process that sort of thing could return. And indeed, Deborah Lyons, the special representative, talked about the country being on the edge of a catastrophe and likening it to a potential Syria in the future, or if you dial back 25 years to something like the siege of Sarajevo.
Some of what Gary has just said there, Shahrazad Akbar is chair of the Afghanistan Independent Human Rights Commission, and she gave evidence at that UN Security Council meeting. And she spoke to me about the difficult situation on the ground inside Afghanistan.
I'm extremely concerned for my colleagues, for my loved ones. Just today, we lost a friend, a civilian who worked for the Afghan government and managing communications. We hear disturbing reports from across Afghanistan about restrictions imposed on women, particularly in districts that fall to Taliban, which as a woman is extremely frightening to me and to my colleagues and family members and women's rights activists that I know, as well as news of extremely concerning extrajudicial killings by Taliban that target people that are even remotely associated with the government in several areas that they have captured. So the future, the immediate future, at least, seems really bleak.
Shahrazad, the individual you mentioned there who was killed this morning was Dawa Khan Meenapal, and we appreciate you speaking to us in light of his loss, in light of this being a very very sensitive and uncertain time for you. In terms of moving forward, there are calls for the Taliban to re-engage with those peace talks in Doha. But if they feel like they are gaining ground, and it practically does feel like they are doing that, what is the incentive for them to come back to that negotiating table? What is their game plan?
Well, I think this is where the UN Security Council and the international community's role can be emphasized. I am disheartened to see that the international community is mostly focused, and our main allies like the US are mostly focused on withdrawal and then helping the Afghans that have directly worked with them. This is important, but the futures of millions of Afghans are at stake. I think the world and the international community should do more. The region particularly should do more to bring Taliban to the table. I think the region should very clearly tell the Taliban that a Taliban coming to power through force and continuing the violence is unacceptable. They need to see that their government will not be accepted and recognized, not even in the region, if they continue on this path of destruction and killing.
Shahrazad, you talk about regional governments, but I also want to talk about the US, their withdrawal, and in particular their speed of withdrawal, which Ashraf Ghani has said is a reason for the situation deteriorating as it has. Where do you point the finger of blame?
Well, I also hold the Afghan government accountable. The international community has been talking about withdrawing militarily from Afghanistan since 2014. We should have been better prepared. But also, of course, the US, because whatever we see and what we see with this withdrawal is far from orderly or responsible, which was what was promised to Afghans. It has already caused huge human suffering and tragedy and atrocities. And as well as, of course, the countries in the region who I think are waiting, and some of them are waiting and hedging their bets, but the future destruction of Afghanistan, all-out war in Afghanistan will harm all, not just the Afghans.
And that was Shahrazad Akbar there. In Italy, venues across the country are introducing an obligatory coronavirus green pass from today, meaning access will only be allowed with either a vaccination certificate, a negative test, or proof of recovery from the virus. The measure will be extended to universities and transport next month. Mark Lowen reports.
a night at the opera, tickets, temperature check, and from today, the mandatory green pass, a COVID vaccination certificate, negative test, or proof of recovery, as Italy tightens its rules from theatres to restaurants, gyms to cafes. Well, this is how it will work in practice. I come up to the venue in question, present my green pass, which in my case is a vaccination certificate. It's verified. This device doesn't save the data. I present my ID card and I'm allowed to enter. It's a big change and a big challenge for those involved.
Nobody taught us how to face COVID, you know. So at the beginning, we were afraid, we were nervous, we were anxious. Then month by month, we solved new problem, giving a new solution. And this, after 18 months, we built a little of self-confidence. So let's say that.
Hello.
Hello, Vladimir.
I cannot. Yeah, everything is just good. So, how are you?
I'm having my holidays, my weekends at the village, and now it was not really easy to get the access to the internet.
Okay.
But now I can connect with you. Now I'm connecting with you. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I'm fantastic, just extremely good. So, what is new?
You asked us, me and Alina, to prepare an answer with a picture, but my answer is without the picture, but I just want explanation of the construction. Want somebody to be or to another verb. Can you explain? And for example, when I was trying to translate my thoughts into the English, I've decided to use this construction, but I don't know how to do it correct.
Just give me the sentence you are thinking of.
I was thinking in English, and the sentence was Vladimir, I just wanted to comment on in the post, on your post, and the thought was Vladimir can give you advice that other tutors can be hiding, and that's the sentence. Is it correct or not?
Well, you know that probably I will be, when the same idea, maybe I will be expressing it in a slightly different way, but it's not a problem. I understood what you wanted to say. It's understandable. And, it's clear. So nothing to worry about. It's okay. So I can just go to your. Let me see, where is that? To your comment. So I will share the screen with you. Now let's see it. Where is that? Yeah, that's yours. So, no, it's not correct. It's not here. It's in the community. Okay. Just wait a second. It should be. Yeah, it's here. Okay. So Vladimir can give you advice that most tutors seems to be hiding. The only problem here is that most tutors seem to be hiding because that's plural. And I think that you know that rule. That's very easy.
Yeah, I know.
But that's not the problem. That's not the problem. It's mostly it's clear. It's okay.
Okay. Always you say that you're okay, you're just okay, but now you're perfectly and you're perfect. And what is the reason? Maybe you are having holidays somewhere.
No, it's just well, how can I say? There were some plans for today, and I fulfilled that plans, and it was not that easy because there were some circumstances which are very personal, very private, and I wouldn't want to share because that's, as I said, that's very personal, very private, and so I'm just happy about that. That's it's
Okay.
just like you know, you said that you talked to what's your name, to Alina, and you said that it was a good conversation. So after that conversation, you can say that you were happy, right? Correct?
Oh, what is that?
You wrote me that you talked to Alina, right?
Yeah.
And after this conversation, you said that it was a very warm conversation. So you can
Yes.
say that you can say that you were happy about that, right?
Yes.
So that's the same about me. I also have some meetings with people which I planned, and those meetings were just as I planned, were in a good way. So that is why I'm saying that I'm happy. But this is personal, you know.
Okay. You mentioned that there were some concourse. I just don't know this word. Can you explain me?
I wouldn't say that there was some competition or contest. I didn't say about it. There was some meeting with other people. Not a competition, not a contest. If you are saying about it.
The word was not competition and not contest. I just don't know it. But okay, it doesn't mention.
It doesn't matter. The word was I had a meeting with people.
Okay.
So any other? But you know, the big question usually it's not only about grammar or vocabulary, but that's okay when you ask about grammar or vocabulary. But it can be about anything, just like about life. So if you say what was going on in your life during the time when I haven't seen you, so probably you will figure out which thing is necessary for you to talk about. I have a topic for a conversation, but usually, you know, the best topic is which comes from the student, not from the teacher. But yeah, I will definitely help you. Just try to think.
I have an idea what to talk about, and during my weekends, I was and now I'm spending time at the village with my grandparents, and I noticed that when at the first time when I came here, or maybe when I come here, not so usually. When I come here just for a day, it's for me it's fantastic. It is fantastic day, but now I've noticed that when it happens from day to day, it becomes usual for me for just 4 days, maybe for 5 days, maybe it hasn't become usual, but maybe I just feel a little tired after the last full of emotions and activities day. Maybe that's the reason. Do you spot? Did you spot and notice? Is it syllables, synonyms? Are they synonyms?
What do you mean? What kind of synonyms? Because I didn't understand. I can just listen to what you said.
Spot is the word spot.
Just wait a second.
But maybe I just feel a little tired after the last full of emotions and activities day. Maybe that's the reason. Do you spot? Did you spot and notice? Is it?
What is that? I didn't understand. Hello, can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can.
So I didn't understand the last sentence. What you said about sport. Do I do sports, or what was the question?
I just don't know. Is spot and notice the same? Spot, is it the verb?
Sports?
No, I just want to say заметить. And I know that notice is the correct verb, but is spot the same as notice?
Yeah, but you know, that's slightly different. It's usually you use it with okay, yeah, like let's say I will just open the file, which is and wait a second, I will share the screen and we will talk and you will see the point. Okay, so today is August 6th, so it will be 2021. All right, yeah, sorry about that, that's American way. Now, what you're saying is the Russian is, that's, okay, 1 second. And like you said, the neutral term, the neutral terminology will be to notice. Okay, just 1 second. Notice. But, you know, when you think of the word spot, so first of all, spot, usually it's a noun. Okay, spot is a noun. What kind of a noun is that? You understand the word noun, right?
Yes.
So if you go, for example, to, let's say, if you go to etymology dictionary, usually to understand the meaning, the good way will be to go to etymology dictionary online. And just ask here the word spot. What is that? So you see that it's a moral stain from Old English spot, a spot, blot, patch of land.
Sorry, I can't see your screen.
Okay, I will, yeah, I understand. Sorry about that. Yeah, so this is the online etymology dictionary. Etymology, you understand the word etymology? No? Yes. It's the origin of.
I understand.
So spot is a moral stain, a speck stain. Do you know the word stain?
No, the moral stain, I don't understand.
Okay, yeah. So stain, you have to know, this is your basic vocabulary. Just think about that you need to know your basic vocabulary. All right. how you can know the basic vocabulary. You go Google, okay, just wait a second. You go Google and you ask the word stain. And then you go to pictures. Now you can see that this is a stain. Can you see the point?
I see.
That's the stain. Now you know the meaning of the word stain, right? This is a stain. Okay? You understand?
Yes, I understood.
Okay, very good, excellent. Now, so if you go back to the dictionary, it says that it's a moral stain or just a stain. It's a stain. So that the meaning of this noun is a stain. A spot, the meaning is a stain. And now, after that, you have to understand how you can make the verb out of this noun. And so you go to verb, this is verb. And it says to mark or stain with spots, to stain, to sully, to tarnish. Everything is just to make a spot, to make a stain. That's the meaning of the verb. You understand?
Yes, I understood.
And then you see, then you have a meaning to see and recognize. This is the meaning you are asking. Can you see it? It's from 1718, originally colloquial. Colloquial, that means conversational. So the meaning is that if we say that notice is a neutral verb, neutral, that means that your basic vocabulary, that's not emotional, not colloquial. This word you can write. This is a good word for exam. So then spot is not a very good word for an exam. You cannot use colloquial or conversational vocabulary. You cannot use in your essay. You understand?
Yes, and as I didn't know it for sure, I didn't use it in exam at the exam, but now I thought that it can be good for me to ask about this word from you.
Yeah, I understand, because usually that's how we learn. So again, going back, what we learned today is that, first of all, you learn the basic vocabulary. Basic vocabulary is neutral, is not emotional, is not very conversational, very colloquial. It's just the word which you can use in your essay. So then you have to understand how the mentality, how it was made to have the meaning to see and to recognize, and to understand why it is colloquial. So, you know that there are many idioms, many phrases, for example, which are connected with the word spot, like in the spot. It's in the spot.
Yes, I know.
In the spot.
But as far as I know, people say on the spot.
Yes, correct. But I will talk about on the spot later. So in the spot, you go in the spot and you see that this is in the spotlight. Okay, let's start with in the spotlight. So what is in the spotlight? What do you think? What is that? what is the meaning of the phrase in the spotlight?
I can suppose that it means в общем.
No, it's not. It's not like that. You just think about what is a light as a spot. What is that?
Maybe конкретно.
I'm talking, where can you see a spot of light? Where can you see it?
On the screen of, I can see it with the use of projector.
Absolutely. Spotlight is a projector. You are absolutely right. And so the meaning of in the spotlight is when you are on the stage and all of the spotlights, you are in the spot of light. All of the projectors are looking at you. So the meaning is that when you are in the spotlight, the meaning is that everybody is watching at you. Everybody is looking at you. Okay.
Now I have understood. Yes.
So now you can learn the idiom. Okay. Someone or something that is in the spotlight is getting a great deal of public attention. You understand? Someone or something that is in the spotlight is getting a lot of public attention. You understand? And now you can go and see the image. So this is the good image of the good illustration of in the spotlight. Okay, this is in the spotlight. Okay, that's in the spotlight.
Oh, okay, I see. I can see the picture.
Yeah, these are people in the spotlight.
Okay.
Now, going back to your question about to spot somebody. If you go back, it says here is from 1780, originally colloquial and applied to a criminal or suspected person. So the meaning is that the detective spotted a criminal. You know, it's kind of they focused the light on somebody because of the witnesses' testimony, because of the facts and so on. So this person is in the spotlight. So this is how it became to see and recognize, because of the word spot, stain of light. Something is in the stain of light. But again, this is colloquial. So if you just think right now, you have to think how you can have a good translation into Russian so that notice will be a basic vocabulary, both in English and in the Russian language. But spot will be to notice, but with the colloquial meaning, okay? So yeah, let's go ask the dictionary. Yes.
Vladimir, but it comes to my mind that in the spotlight may has another meaning, and may I say it in Russia?
No, you don't need to say it in Russian. Just try to say it in English. And when I do not understand, then I will ask you. Just try. That's the class for your.
I can say
the connection is really
center
poor.
of attention.
The connection is poor, very poor. Say it again.
Okay, in the center of attention.
Okay, in the center of attention, yeah.
And is it the second meaning of the phrase in the spotlight?
Yes, that's the second and the first meaning, in the center of attention. It's exactly what it says here. Just you remember that we looked at it. It says, in the spotlight is getting a great deal of public attention. That's great deal of public attention. That's the focus in the center of public attention. Mm-hmm. The only problem is that center of public attention, this is the Russian idiom. And in English, you say a great deal of public attention. You get a great deal, or you are in the spotlight. Mm-hmm. So you can say, you know, okay, now you can say it in Russian. So how do you think, what is the meaning of to spot? With the good translation of the colloquial meaning.
The meaning is so that we can see on your screen.
Yeah, you can say it in Russian right now, the translation.
Заметить.
But this is notice. That's why I'm saying notice is the neutral word. It's the basic vocabulary. I want you to translate to spot in a different Russian word so that you will feel that to spot is very colloquial. So say the same Russian word only with the colloquial meaning.
Примечать.
It's okay. Yeah, I will help you. So it will be something, and you know, it's just off the top of my head. Just I'm trying to explain you something like you can say высветить кого-либо, засветить кого-либо. Mm-hmm. So that's the meaning. Or another meaning is that in the spotlight is в лучах прожектора. That's the Russian idiom.
Mm-hmm. I haven't heard both translations.
Yeah, of course, because you know, in the spotlight, you see that's в центре внимания, быть в центре внимания, and you can say в лучах прожектора. To be in the spotlight, быть в центре внимания. Okay. And then, like about the criminal, они засветили преступника, высветили преступника, or something like that. And you know, I'm just making it up. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. And the last part, so it's just for you to understand that notice is заметить, a neutral word for your essay. But when you say they spotted him, so then in Russian you will write полиция его засветила. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you cannot write this stuff in the Russian essay. Your Russian teacher will not allow you to write something like that. You understand?
Yes.
So that's the point.
Colloquial.
Sorry, I cannot hear you.
Because of it's colloquial. Because yes. It's colloquial. Because
yes,
it's colloquial. Absolutely.
Conversational or colloquial. And the last thing is another idiom which you mentioned, on the spot. On the spot.
I know the meaning.
So what's the meaning? Just tell me.
Should I tell it? Should I explain it in English?
Yes, of course.
On the spot, just without preparation.
Okay, let's have a look. At that very moment, right away, having to answer or decide without warning or preparation. Without preparation, like I say. All the sudden questions put him on the spot. So how can you say it in Russian? All the sudden questions put him on the spot.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure, but maybe
Say it in Russian.
привели его в недоумение.
Well, it's much stronger. Застали его врасплох. Because this is very conversational, very idiomatic. Застали его врасплох. All of the sudden questions put him on the spot. And again, you have to keep in mind that put him on the spot, he is on the spot. Everybody is watching him. Everybody is looking at him. He is, like you said, in the center of attention. The attention is focused on him. Or you know that there is another meaning. Someone who is put on the spot is forced to do or say something the person would rather not to say. Someone who is put on the spot is forced to do or say something the person would rather not to say. You understand that? So
Yes.
that's the detective can tell to you that I put you on the spot with this evidence, you know. So that was a very good, yeah.
I see the point, but personally, I can't match the right words in Russian. I can't translate it. For example, put him on police, put him on the spot.
All right. Yeah. So you can say that in Russian, полиция загнала его в тупик, полиция загнала его в угол.
Okay. I have another version. For example, полиция вывела его на чистую воду.
You can say so. That's a very good one.
Okay. It's interesting.
But I think that it's a slightly different meaning. Вывела его на чистую воду. I think it's slightly different meaning. Yeah, but maybe that's a good one. Okay. Yeah, let's have a look. That's a good question, and that's a good conversation. Okay, just one second. Yeah. So you see, that's a good translation. To expose, to unmask. To expose, to unmask. And for example, if we ask, for example, just wait 1 second. Okay. Yeah, and I think that they do not have it. Okay, we will have a look here. Yeah, that's how we usually do the translations. Okay, sorry. I just did the wrong stuff. Well, what is that? Something is wrong with my computer. Can you see it? It's just the vice versa.
What is that? Can you repeat? What do you want to say?
I don't know. It's just like something strange happened to my computer. Okay, right now it's okay. Yeah, everything is just good.
Okay. I have heard somewhere that multi-run is not a good version of translator, and it is not official, at least.
Well,
it is forbidden to use it during the checking during the checking of the works of students. For example, when teachers when people who are checking checkers, maybe when people who are checking students who have taken the exam or who have passed the exam, when they're checking them, they shouldn't use this translator because it is not official, as far as I know.
Who told you so? That's usually, if you want to say something, you have to mention the origin or the source of what you're saying. So what's
maybe it was a teacher somewhere in YouTube. Maybe it was as far maybe I just downloaded the order of checking the oral part of the speaking part of the RNE in
I cannot hear you. You disconnected. Say it again. You disconnected. Say again.
Maybe I just downloaded the file of the order of the right order of checking RNE, of checking or speaking part RNE, and maybe it was written in this file, in the file where there was the order of checking RNE.
RNE. Yeah, I understand. RNE. Yeah.
RNE.
Yeah, I understand. But you know that, do you know the history of multitran? How it started? Do you know that?
No, of course.
Well, it's just, first of all, you know, when somebody says that it's not allowed, it's not good idea to use something, then definitely you have to think about and what is allowed to use. So which dictionary was recommended for checking for grading? We call it grading the essays. Grading
it wasn't mentioned. It wasn't.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. But this is, you can understand that you cannot say, hey, do not use this dictionary, because this is only one side of the story. This is not science. Science is always two sides of the story. And this is the main idea of your essay. You wrote your essay because you want to understand what science is. And science is, according to the structure of the essay, you remember, when you write your essay, is you have to present the opposite point of view, correct?
Yes, I remember.
So when somebody, right now, you know what science is. When somebody tells you, do not use this dictionary, then you have to ask, which one I should use? And if you think about that, which one to use, then nobody will answer you. Nobody will answer this question. And why is that? Because you have to think about the origin, the source of all of these dictionaries. All of these dictionaries, they started in the Soviet Union. And I can show you those dictionaries. If you just wait a couple of minutes, I will show you the dictionaries which were official documents. And right now you don't have them. Okay, just wait a second. I will bring. So these are the couple of examples of these dictionaries. Can you see them? Just a couple of examples.
Yes, I can. And what is that? What are the dictionaries are you holding?
So this is the English-Russian dictionary. And the author of this dictionary is Mr. Mueller. And this is the Russian English dictionary. The author is Smirnitsky. So you can see that these guys are 2,000 pages each. 2,000 pages, you can understand that, right? You see that they are real big, okay? So at that time, those were the dictionaries from the Soviet Union. And these dictionaries were absolutely official in the Soviet Union. You understand? Hello?
Vladimir,
Yeah.
do you hear me?
Yes.
Do you
What
have
happened?
Another couple,
Sorry?
do you have another couple of minutes for tonight?
What is that?
Do you have another couple of minutes for tonight?
Yes. Yeah. Sure. Yep. I have.
May I connect with you in 5 minutes because now the access is not good, and I can ask my sister to give me an access to the internet using Wi-Fi, and maybe it will be possible to use to connect with you in 5 minutes.
Yeah, but right now the connection is good. We can talk.
No, I must say that it will be just more convenient for me to ask her, and it will be no longer than 5 minutes. Maybe
Okay.
can you wait me?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Then I will stay, and if the connection is okay, I want to reconnect. But if it disconnect, I will reconnect in 5 minutes. Okay?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Now I will be silent and ask her. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Everything
Now
is
we can
okay.
for example, we can talk for another 10 or 15 minutes.
Say it again.
Maybe longer.
I do not understand. The sound is not that good. So what is that? Okay.
What is that?
So I didn't understand.
The connection poor.
Yeah, I understand. But anyway, so you were saying, just say it again. Huh?
I said that we can continue our conversation for another 10, 15, or 15 or maybe more minutes. And
yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
And now I can hear you. And my answer was, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So as I said that, first of all, the teacher who grades your essay is called a grader. And what he's doing is grading your essay. You can see here this translation. So that's one of these, then something like that. And so on. So you can,
Vladimir, but the screen is black.
Yeah, I will share. Yeah, I will share the screen. Just wait a second. No, can you see it now?
Maybe I should wait 5 seconds. Maybe the connection is not good enough. I will say you when it will be possible to see.
All right.
Now the black. The screen is black.
Can you see it now?
No, I can. No, I can't.
Yeah, but sorry about that. But anyway, so grading and the graders, and he puts grades. Okay. And then the British should be about marks, the person marking the papers, and the marker, something like that. I think so. That should be the word. So as I said, that those were the official dictionaries in the Soviet Union. Okay. And then,
Very official. Yes, I see.
Official, yeah. So, and then the internet started. So what actually happened, those guys, I mean, from this website, or from this website, or from any other dictionary or any other application. So what they did, they first of all, they downloaded, they scanned these dictionaries, you know. And then after that, they start to add, if in case of multitran, the translators from the whole world who can sign up, registered on multitran, they can add their practical meaning, what they hear in their practical work, they can add this meaning to this dictionary. And so, of course, lots of their translations are not that good, but it's up to you to decide. And this dictionary is, as I said, the basement is the same, but it is not so actual, you know. It's not so topical. It's not so relevant. I mean, it's not so up to date. You know, it's a little bit. In multitran, you have very recent meanings of the vocabulary, which the translators see in real life in their work. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's the problem with dictionaries, but you will not find any other dictionary. And so that means that every dictionary which you use will have some flaws. So that means that every dictionary will not be very perfect. But we do not have another one, because as it's the same problem with the internet. So if you think, for example, about Wikipedia, lots of people will say that, hey, Wikipedia is not a good source of information, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the same thing, because that's the internet. Everybody, you and me, we can correct the data which is given in the Wikipedia. It's possible. So that is why we say that probably it's not a very good and not a very relevant, appropriate information, okay? So I think that this covers your question, right? What do you think? Sorry?
It was a reconnection, and now I can hear you again.
Okay. Yeah, I think that it answers your question to the full, right?
What are you talking about? I can see that you have printed the, you have typed the.
It's just, it's nothing. So as I said, that I answered to all of your questions for today, correct? And it's about time to finish. I think that it's about time to finish. If you have any other questions, you can write in VK, and I will try, and to the best of my knowledge, I will try and answer you. All right?
All right. But you was talking that the dictionary from the USSR is not recent, and I know the word describing it. Maybe obsolete is so that you want to say, so that you wanted to say.
Well, it's not obsolete. It's still most of this dictionary is most of the data in this dictionary is pretty relevant. But
I see.
Yeah, but some of this vocabulary is just, like you said, obsolete. But not the whole bunch, the whole stuff which is given in those dictionaries.
Mm-hmm. I see that I have made a mistake.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
It's just a good question. It was not a mistake. All right. Yeah, I think that this is all for tonight, and hopefully I will see you next week. All right.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
See you again.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.